Hi, I'm Jorge Jesus. I'm here to show my last video, my fourth video. I'm going to talk about asynchronous calls. Basically, I have here one service called JDAL-info that I'm going to run a described process already here, and it's a service that supports storage and status, means that will simply can be run in asynchronous mode. So here in Taverna, what it happens in the whistle description for the JDAL-info is that we have two services, one synchronous and another one asynchronous. So I'm going to run both of the services so I can explain what are the differences. Okay, I'm going to add both services to Taverna. I'm going to check their inputs. They are exactly the same. Okay, same inputs, check some histogram. Okay, now I'm going to pick some test data. Okay, we have here some digital elevation model. I'm going to add it as an input to the services. I'm going to paste it. Same input goes to both services, and now I'm going to check the services outputs, and you're going to see the differences. This service simply returns the JDAL-info result, while this one simply returns status URL. So I'm going to add the output port. And I'm going to run it. Okay, we have one result. This is URL where my WPS is going to store my final result. We're going to show you here, browser. Okay, this is the JDAL-info output that is also here in Taverna from the synchronous service. So I'm going to do a new workflow to show how to deal with asynchronous calls, mainly how to get the final result from the service. Basically, this I have here the ultimate question process that only generates an output. It's going to give me a status URL, and I have to create a service that simply fetches my content, and I have here in the PyWPS wiki all the explanation and all the procedure to do it, and also the code. And I'm going to go through it slowly in the video. I have to generate a bin shell service where to add some code is going to deal with the status URL. I have here a bin shell service, and I'm going to copy paste some code that I have here in the wiki. I'm going to explain this code. Okay, I'm going to glue it. Basically, I have here an input, which is the status URL, that's going to be parsed and checked for content, and if the process is accepted, it continues to run it, otherwise it's completed, and it simply is going to output the content from the status. Both these variables are ports in this service, so I have to say that these variables are passed to the service, like status URL, and here I need to get XML content. This is an output from the script. Okay, and another output from the script is the status. This is a very important output because it's going to be checked constantly by Taverna. I'm going to see it. Okay, so I'm going to rename the service, check status, and the trick is that this service is going to be run in a loop mode. It's going always to check the status URL until some condition happens. Basically, I'm going to say while the status is equal to complete, Taverna will continue to loop. Okay. pay attention that it is repeated until we have a complete answer in the status output. So okay, going to add the output port, going to connect it, going to add also another port to the status, and I'm going to run it. So while the ultimate question process is being run, the check status service is running as a loop and fetching the content from the URL, and until the content has changed and has actually result inside, it will continue to loop. And so we have no problems with okay, it's finished. So we have here the result. This is the result from the service, and it finished all the loops. And here the status is complete. This is some XML content. I'm not so fond of it, so I'm going to use it to generate XPath service that's simply going to clean this XML so I can get the answer for the ultimate question. And I'm going to here to show you. I'm going to generate an XPath expression, and I just going to see it. Okay, here we have a result as a text, as XML. I'm just going to add here something to the XPath, so I only get the text. Okay, run it, apply it. Okay, I'm going to connect the XML content to the XPath service. Okay, everything's properly piped. Going to add another output port where I'm going to have my status URL. It's returned from the service, and I'm going to use it to show it in my browser. Okay, everything's in order. I'm going to run the service. And checking for status URL. Here we go. Have to be relatively fast. Copy paste to see it in the browser, and here we go. We have the service being run, 60% done, and 80%, and it's concluded. And the final answer is, let's see, 42. Of course, here the status has been completed. This is a generic way to do asynchronous services. Once again, everything is properly explained in the PyWPS wiki. I have it here. And if you scroll down, we have the Taverna section where we explain all the orchestration structure and all the problems and how to deal with situations. And here, once again, what I've shown you, it's a bit tricky, and it's better for you to read the wiki and understand how to do asynchronous calls, but it's a very flexible system. Okay, I hope you enjoyed, and thank you very much for your attention.